You are listening to the Lifeblood Podcast, a podcast about the totally average, unremarkable little town of Bright Ridge, where there is definitely nothing strange going on. This is Chapter 4.
Jackie.
Don't say it.
We need to listen to that tape.
Oh, all right, fine. Give me the damn recorder before I change my mind. What is it now?
Well, can I mean...
If you don't give me the recorder right now, I'm gonna snap this stupid little thing.
All right. Here, just be careful with it.
Oh, now he's worried about it. Wasn't at all concerned earlier when he threw it in my bag, but suddenly...
You have to hit the...
Huey, stop hovering.
Right. Sorry. Shutting up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'd like that.
Awesome. I can't wait.
I still can't believe you did this. Your hugs are lies.
Yes, I'm a terrible person. Irredeemable, really.
At least you admit it. Let me think. I probably spent another 15 minutes or so with Phil and the McGuires. Then the drive back to the station was another 10 minutes, give or take. I talked to the reporters.
Reporters?
Vultures, more like.
Any statements regarding the recent act of vandalism that took place early this morning at McGuire's Bar and Restaurant?
Christy Vella with the Doe County Inquirer. Is it true that the destruction along the strip mall on 611 was caused by a group of teens from the local high school?
Are the juveniles we see walking in behind you the culprits?
Do you think my parents ever loved me? Oops, sorry, wrong notebook. Will the police be giving any statements later today? You're really all here to swarm one local police department about a single act of breaking and entering that nobody was even hurt during? It's a slow news day. It's Bright Ridge. It's always a slow news day.
All the more reason. Frankly, it's a wonder the area can support as many as 3 separate news entities to begin with.
She had me there.
All right. Everyone, please understand. Sheriff Bunker and the rest of Bright Ridge Township PD are working hard to get answers about this morning's incidents.
Are you a spokeswoman for the sheriff's department?
Not exactly. My name's Jackie Adler. I'm a counselor at the local high school, and I also work as a civilian consultant for the police department. I sometimes get called in to assist with matters relating to children and youth.
So the destruction did involve a group of juveniles?
I'm really not at liberty to discuss any...
Ouch. Egg on your face with that one, huh?
Who asked you?
Officer Peterson, I'm sorry, but we really can't have you questioning Dax until their guardian or lawyer arrives.
I wasn't questioning her. We were just chatting.
Wait, hang on a second.
You must be hungry. When was the last time you ate?
I don't remember. But I'm not very hungry.
Maybe just some water then.
Okay.
Here we are.
Where's...
Michael?
Yeah.
He's laying down and waiting for a nurse to come take a look at him. He seems pretty sick. Did he drink a lot more than you last night?
I don't remember.
That's okay.
I don't think it is.
Here.
Thanks. Did you call my parents?
Yes,
I wish you hadn't.
I know. Dax, I know you've told me how your folks have sent you to some alternative behavioral programs in the past, but you're over 14 now. If you don't want to go back to the center, legally they can't make you.
Thank you, Miss Adler. That is quite enough. I do believe as a minor, Miss Kennedy here has the right to legal counsel while being questioned by police or any of their related agents.
It's not, miss, actually.
Of course, it's just Dax, right? Pardon me, it never hurts to be too formal, now does it? Well, it is my pleasure to meet
this
you.
joker?
Ash Sandford, Lilith & Co.'s big shot lawyer. We've met twice already, and he still never remembers me.
Oh, it's no trouble.
Guess you aren't that memorable.
Bet you'd remember my foot up your ass.
Now then, Dax, you just let whatever nonsense you've been told by this here girlie or any of the officers you spoke to this morning roll right out your ear, alrighty? You stick with me, kid. We'll have you out of here in a jiffy. In fact, I'd say in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, but that's just 1 shake too many. And, Adler, did I get that right? Where's my other client, Michael Martinez?
Michael Martin. And he's being looked over by a nurse in the infirmary.
A nurse? My, Miss Adler, you naughty girl. You know as well as I that according to Title 74 that boy is not required to submit any form of chemical testing, blood, urine, breath, or otherwise until after he has been charged with a crime. Anything else would be to trample upon his rights as a citizen of this here Commonwealth.
No one has said anything about drug testing, Mr. Sandford. Michael was just feeling sick when he got out of the patrol car, so Detective Sanchez and I
I
sent
see.
him to...
So it was an opportunity for you and the detective to get the poor boy alone and coerce him into a false confession. Is that it?
Mr. Sandford, how dare you even imply...
Stick a needle up his willy or something if he didn't cooperate, did you?
Weirdly specific hypothetical threat, but no, Mr. Sandford, we would never...
Now, there's no reason to get all excited, dearie. If you can't handle a basic question or two without getting overly emotional, then you best...
Over-emotional? You just accused me twice in less than a minute of abusing my authority as a counselor.
Christ.
I don't want to talk about it.
What happened next?
Detective Sanchez came over, thankfully, and managed to diffuse the tension a little before we brought the kids into a private room and started the interview.
Their right to plead the Fifth Amendment.
And what about when you arrived at the closed restaurant? Was the front window already smashed?
My clients exercise their right to plead the Fifth Amendment.
Did either of you see anybody else around?
My clients are exercising their right to plead the Fifth.
For the love.
Look, I know you're both good kids. And I know this is all probably really intense and scary. Hell, I've been telling the boys for years that we gotta lighten this room up a little. Maybe add a plant or something. So I get it. You're freaked out. The room's creepy, you're away from your parents, and a bunch of strangers are asking a lot of unnerving questions about things that are probably all a big old blur. And I bet you both think we're trying to lock you up and throw away the key. But I promise you, we just want to understand what happened, because things ain't adding up here. Now can you help me with that, please?
I think there was my clients exercise their right to plead the Fifth Amendment.
You know, Counselor, Michael and Dax can waive their right to remain silent at any time. And if
And
Dax
as a
here wants
very expensive, very well informed, and incidentally very attractive legal advisor, I'm advising them not to waive that particular right unless or until I explicitly recommend them otherwise. So while we're on the subject, were either of these kids even read their Miranda rights prior to this little powwow? Or did you folks just conveniently forget that?
Of course we gave them their Miranda warning.
Really? 'Cause it sure would be mighty convenient if you didn't. Wouldn't hardly be the first time some backwoods lawman let the finer points of suspect civil liberties slip his memory.
Counselor, as a father myself, I would never disregard a minor's constitutional right.
I hope you don't mind if I don't just take your word for that. And I'm just gonna refresh their memories real quick. In fact, while we're at it, I'd like to speak with my client alone for a moment. Cameras and recording equipment off, if you please. And you, Missy, will not be necessary.
I'm only here as a
As a
court-appointed...
civilian consultant for the Brighton Ridge Police Department.
And a welfare worker.
Can you spell conflict of interest, Miss Adler? 'Cause I certainly can.
Says the lawyer hired by Lillis and Company.
To see to the defense of 2 minors legally in their care. That is correct.
To see to the defense of the company you represent, you mean?
I resent that implication.
You can resent it from here to Timbuktu for all I care.
Jackie, come on. Let's give them a minute.
Thank you, Constable.
You loud
just remembered. I left my bag in the room when we walked out. I just grabbed my planner.
Oh, when you come back, you can bring them little cups and whatnot for blood and urine samples.
I remember thinking that was weird. We hadn't even asked about samples. You think any attorney with half a brain wouldn't go reminding the cops to test their clients?
Why is that?
Well, at this point, they'd already caught Dax and Michael having broken in, whether they'd been drinking or not. Chemical tests would only make them look more guilty. And anyway, blood tests can only detect alcohol for up to 6 hours after ingestion. Urine for up to 24, but that doesn't really prove anything.
And earlier, wasn't he up in arms at the idea of you guys giving Michael a blood test?
Oh my god. I wonder if...
If what?
The blood tests. Peterson, when he called me earlier, he told me they both tested positive for... But I mean, there's no way that... They couldn't have.
Do you plan on finishing any of those sentences?
Shut up.
Michael, let's start with you. You've been awfully quiet throughout all this, almost as if the director kept forgetting to cast your part. Stand up for me. That's a good lad. Now that skinny redhead told me that you were looked over by a nurse when you got here. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
No need to call me sir, kiddo. We're old pals now. Ain't that right?
I guess so.
Good. And when that nurse checked you out, she didn't draw any blood or nothing, did she?
No.
Urine sample?
No.
She checked your vitals?
She took my temperature and I think my blood pressure.
Excellent. Let me just see it now. Look! The Hindenburg! What? In front of you!
The fuck? What the hell's happening?
I don't know. Oh my god!
There we go. Nice and painless, wasn't it? Alright, Dax. Your turn.
My god.
What happened? Feels so good.
My god. Oh my god.
What the hell do you think he did to them?
I have no idea. It sounded almost like he shot them up with something. Huey, you know that if I had any idea...
What? No, of course not. I know that.
Sanchez and I couldn't have been out of that room for more than 5 minutes. I never could have guessed that. I mean, I always knew the bastard was slimy, but I never could have imagined he'd hurt anyone.
I know, but it's not your fault. How could you have known? But what could he have...
The blood work!
What? What about it?
When Officer Peterson, that's what he called me about earlier. That's why Sandford must have been so worried we'd already taken Michael's blood panel.
Why? What was it?
Phil said the labs came back and that both the kids tested positive for bath salts.
Christ!
Huey, it's all a setup. There's no way Dax could have done that. Not after what happened with their brother and what we just heard.
But why? Why would EOs dose their own kids with bath salts? Doesn't that make the center look bad?
I don't know. None of it makes any sense.
There's something bigger going on here.
And the kids at the center? God, Huey, I can't even imagine what kind of monstrous things are happening there.
I think you were right earlier.
About what?
That we're gonna need another drink.
I looked at the billowing smoke rising off the totaled van, which was arguably now only in slightly worse shape than it had been before crashing. Scrubbing snow and smoke from my eyes, I squinted up the road. I could just barely see the outline of the New Horizons facility through the vicious storm. Large stadium lights had been switched on, and somewhere up ahead, something bellowed. After a short delay, the ground beneath my feet briefly shook. The pit in my stomach ached with manic fear. Behind me, all was darkness. Nothing but swirling white snow and deep, impenetrable night. I wondered solemnly if a concussion from the crash was making my inner monologue even more melodramatic than usual. Could this day get any worse? I asked myself. Just then, I heard as beneath the van, the two EOS employees started to wrench themselves free of the smoldering wreckage. Alright, that's on me. I shouldn't have asked. I took several slow steps backwards and looked off into the night again, back towards Bright Ridge. No sane person would have even considered trying to make it back into town on foot in these conditions. But as my parents were so fond of telling me, I was not a sane person.
Hey! Hey, kid! Get back here! What is she? Insane?
Hey, man!
What?
The kid! The file says, hey!
Oh, shit! My bad. Thanks for correcting me.
No worries.
You know, it's so hard to unlearn all the meaninglessly gendered language in our modern lexicon.
I hear you.
Wait. Hang on. They gave you a file?
What? Yeah, of course. The mission brief.
Oh. I didn't get a mission brief.
What are you assuming this afternoon?
What? We're still doing those? I thought we were back in person.
The EOS cronies were thrown clear off their feet and back as the twisted limb of a large tree slammed into them. I looked back at my hands. They were crusted in ice and blood from where I had wrenched back the branch. Had I just done that? How the hell had I just done that? I looked up stupidly at the tree and its thick wild limbs that shook as they righted themselves, one now absent its collection of gathered snow and ice. I didn't have time to stop and gawk or even try to make sense of it. A few feet back, I heard as the pair began coming to. Wow, Hollywood really lied to us about how long a person stays unconscious when they get knocked out. I let myself be disappeared by the night. As I ran, I noticed something. Despite the terrible visibility and the mounting conditions, the dark night and the torrential fall of frozen rain and snow, I could see ahead just fine. And despite how horrifyingly cold it was, and how fantastically underdressed I was for the trek back towards town, I felt slowed by neither. There was no pain in my snow-soaked hands or feet. No sting from the wind as it whipped around me and sent my hair into a wild mess. No tiredness in my bones, despite how much I ran and ran and ran. All there was a strange, passionate, almost primal feeling that anywhere was better than back at EOS. Somewhere in the distance felt almost like a heartbeat, a beacon, safe and warm, and I ran towards it for as long as my legs would carry me.
This is the last one. Want to share it?
Yes, please. I still can't believe it.
I know. Me neither. Jackie,
What?
do you remember when we were kids?
Vaguely?
Har. I mean it.
Mean what?
I mean that night at EOS, when they were first moving into the industrial park.
What I remember can't be real.
Yeah, I thought so too, but now I'm not so sure.
And what do you remember?
Not much. But feels like whatever we saw, when I try to think about it, it's like trying to remember a nightmare.
Maybe it was. That's what I tell myself anyway.
What happens in your nightmare?
What does it matter?
Humor me.
I remember you asking me in school that day if I wanted to sneak out with you later.
Yeah, and you punched me so hard I got a dead arm. I remember that part. I mean after. Once we were there.
Hey, is this your nightmare or mine?
Yours. If it were mine, I wouldn't have any pants on.
Well, that's one thing we have in common.
Not having pants on in our nightmares?
You not having pants on in our nightmares.
It had been a real headache getting into the place.
What? Were you expecting them to roll out the red carpet for us?
Well, no, but it would have been nice. That stupid potato sack you stole from your dad tore as soon as I got over it. And I ripped a hole all along the side of my jeans when I jumped down.
Ouch!
Suck it up.
Hey!
Once we were sure I wasn't bleeding, we wandered around for a little while. It was hard to tell which buildings were being used since the whole place looked like a nuclear blast zone's baby cousin. We mostly stuck to the shadows along the outermost structures, stopping when we heard people moving around inside a building or saw shadows up ahead of us.
As creepy hidden bases go, this one's pretty boring.
Seen a bunch, have you?
Oh yeah, tons. This town's absolutely loaded with them.
There was a lot of movement towards the center of the park. I didn't want to risk going any further in, but as always, you were the voice of unreason.
What? You're kidding me! You really want to have to come all this way and not see anything?
I didn't even want to come this far to begin with.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
This is such a bad idea.
You ever get tired of saying that?
Incredibly. You ever get tired of making me say it?
Nope, never.
So even against my worst possible judgment, we kept going. We followed the commotion and eventually found a few workers unloading a tractor trailer and erecting some sort of fence at the heart of the compound. It was twice as tall as the one we'd scaled to get in, with at least 1.5 feet of razor wire on top.
Jesus, what are they building? A fortress?
More like a prison.
We watched for a while, right as it was getting unbearably dull and repetitive, and we were about to turn to go, they brought a couple of new trailers right to the fence's gate.
Are those goats and pigs?
It sure smells like it.
What do you think they're for? Some kind of, evil petting zoo?
If there are goats involved, it's definitely evil.
Oh, that's right. I always forget about your irrational fear of goats.
You've clearly never been bitten by one, or you'd know it wasn't irrational.
Hey, check it out! There's another one pulling up.
Damn, you think they've got an elephant in there?
Or a couple of rhinos.
This one wasn't like the others. It was built like the trailers they used to transport racehorses.
That's it. Keep coming, keep coming.
Although it must have been nearly twice the size of those, maybe more. And there was no opening in the back. I remember the workers all got sort of quiet after that. They hesitated, looking around at each other, like no one wanted to be the one to open the trailer doors. Everything got quiet, in fact. Like even the crickets stopped chirping.
I don't want to open it. You open it.
Hell no. You open it.
Alright, look. Let's settle this like adults. I'll play you for it. Loser opens the doors.
Deal.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Damn it. Best 2 out of 3.
Softly at first, from inside the trailer came these guttural, ragged breaths. Something inside it rasped and snarled before it began shifting its weight around and banging on the doors. I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck raise, and I broke out in goosebumps all over. My pulse picked up, and I got hot around the collar. Like something primal inside of me was screaming, "Get the hell out of there, you damn stupid idiot."
That's no elephant.
Or rhino.
What the hell is in that thing?
And what are they doing with it?
As we watched the workers drag their feet, I thought I heard something behind us and turned to see the beam of a flashlight a few feet away.
Crap. Huey, I think one of the guards is coming this way.
Jax!
We gotta go, Huey, or we're gonna get caught.
Jackie, look!
You grabbed my arm. When I turned around and nearly tripped over your dangling jaw, I looked up to see what you were gawking at. There was this thing there. It was rising up out of the trailer, unfolding spindly limbs that looked like a mesh of living vines. They were dark and spiked and sharp along the edges. One arm reached out and wrapped itself around the floodlights on the closest building, which blew out as they were wrenched off the edifice. There was this shrieking sound as the workers turned the lights on the thing, and its arms turned to curl in on itself, shielding its mass from the lights as if they were causing it physical pain.
Holy shit.
Jax, what the hell is that thing?
What are you asking me for? Did I accidentally wear my secretly a cryptozoologist pin today?
What did they do with it?
We didn't stay to find out.
Fuck this!
You hear something?
Hey, wait up!
Not likely!
Get back here!
We turned and ran. I looked over my shoulder to see you were behind me, and back by the workers, I could just barely make out something huge and sickly looking still hunched over beside the trailer as the workers began using large cattle prods to herd it into the fenced-in area with the rest of the barnyard animals.
Somebody secure the perimeter!
A guard stood over us, one hand reaching for the nightstick on his belt as the other turned his flashlight on us.
The hell you couple kids doing? Wait a minute. Matthews? That you, son?
Wait. I remember this. It was...
Mr. Riley?
I was friends with his son. We were both on the same Little League baseball team together as kids.
Your run of good fortune never ceases to infuriate me.
What in God's name are you two doing out here in the middle of the night?
Hey you, Townie.
Shit. Here, get behind me.
Hey mate, you seen a couple of...
Kids?
Yeah.
A pair of shadows just made it over the fence that-a-way. Think I scared them off.
Oh, alright.
You folks need any help back there?
No, we're good, thanks.
Alright, come on. Let's get you two out of here.
Mr. Riley led us to the front gate, the real one this time, and told us to get lost. It sounded like he found the whole thing funny more than anything. I remember the way he winked and said he'd say hi to his kid for you. I don't think he knew about whatever was going on further inside the park. And then I guess we just found our bikes and went home. I snuck back into my house and went to bed. When I woke up the next morning, it all just felt like a dream.
Why didn't we tell anyone what we saw?
Tell who? Our parents? Huey, we were 15. My mother would have killed me if I'd admitted to sneaking out of the house in the middle of the night to go see a boy. And it wasn't like we had much of a story anyway. Neither of us got a good look at, well, whatever it was.
Still, we should have done something. Told someone.
Who would have believed us? I'm not even sure I believe it.
How can you say that?
Because things like that, like whatever we thought we saw, they don't actually exist. They can't. People would know about them if they did.
Come on, Jax. Which do you really think is more likely? That we saw something real that night, or that we both miraculously had the exact same nightmare?
There have been multiple instances of shared psychosis throughout history, most notably the Salem witch trials, the dancing plague of the 1500s, or le psyché-Falleret syndrome, better known as folie à deux, coined in the 19th century by a French psychiatrist.
Jackie, come on. Are you seriously trying to scully me right now?
Technically, Mulder was the one with the psychology background.
Jackie!
What do you want from me, Huey? I don't know. Maybe it was some kind of elaborate setup by Lilith and Company to keep idiot kids like us from trespassing.
You think setting up a fake giant monster would really be the agreed upon security measure?
It sure as hell worked on us.
What if it was what we thought it was? And what if it's still out there, at EOS? I mean, we know something massively fucked up is going on there. If one batshit insane thing is happening, why can't another?
Look, there's a big gap on the believability scale between evil company mistreating minors and huge hellish creature living in a suburbs for over a decade without anyone knowing about it.
Yeah, I get that, but just... who the hell could be at the door at this hour? It must be nearly 3 a.m.
And in these conditions.
Maybe it was just some ice from the storm hitting the... All right, I'm coming. Hang on, just a sec.
Dax!
Adler, help.
Whoa, hey!
Dax! Are you alright? Dax, wake up!
Must have walked here in the storm. But how?
Does it matter? Help me get them to the couch. Shit, they're freezing!
I'll stack some pillows up and stoke the fire.
Dax, do you hear me? Dax, please say something. Come on, honey. Come on, wake up. Wake up!
You've been listening to Lifeblood Chapter 4, an original audio series written, directed, and produced by Akiva Vita. Chapter 4 cast featuring Chris Rogers as Hugo Matthews, Kat Loveland as Jackie Adler, Parker Jackson as Ash Sandford, P.V.S. as Detective Sanchez, Devyn Boer as Dax Kennedy, Ellis Bertrell as Michael Martin, Clark Soon as EOS Thug 1, Damone Sims as EOS Thug 2, Stephen Nguyen as Mr. Riley, Reeko Brooks as Officer Phil Peterson, Aurea Mediocritas, Claudia Zajic, and Holly Harris as Reporters 1, 2, and 3, Gethin Hughes as EOS Worker 1, Tiani Ma as EOS Worker 2, Stephen Nguyen, Thomas Mergianis, and Charles Maddox as Facility Guards. Original theme music composed by Octavian. Additional credits available in the show notes. Lifeblood and all related characters are copyrighted 2023 and are the sole intellectual property of Akiva Vita. For more information on our show and its cast, as well as transcripts of our episodes, please visit us at lifebloodaudiodrama.wordpress.com. We hope you have enjoyed listening to Part 1 of Lifeblood, the audio drama. Stay tuned by checking in on our website or by following us on our Twitter account at Lifeblood Drama for updates on our production, fun bonus content, and release dates for Part 2. And, as always, thanks for listening.
And the most important voice, Mama Vita. My, you guessed it, mother.
Or Mama.
Yeah, our lovely series narrator.
Yay! I'm keeping that in. Especially the yay. It's the best part.
Yes, definitely.